Hey, what's up guys, Matt here. Today I'll be reviewing the British Airways 787-10 by Gemini jets in a 1 to 200 scale. Please check the description in case you missed anything throughout this video. All of my social media links will be down there. I pre-ordered this from easytoys.com. Their link will also be down in the description. This is my 36th 787 model and it's my 9th British Airways model. Some information about British Airways. Their operations base is out of Waterside and Harmondsworth, England. Their main hubs are London Heathrow and London Gatwick. They were founded on the 31st of March 1974 after the merger of BOAC, which is British Overseas Airways Corporation, and BEA, which is British European Airways. Their fleet as of the 30th of June 2022 consists of 287 aircraft, including their subsidiaries, 32 of which are 787s, 12 are 787-8s, 18 are 787-9s, and 2 are 787-10s. There are also 10 unfilled 787-10 orders. They serve 183 destinations, and the current 787-10 routes are from London Heathrow to Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson and Chicago O'Hare. This aircraft's first flight was on the 17th of January 2020 and delivered to British Airways on the 26th of June 2020. The Boeing customer code for British Airways is 36. Right, so let's take a look around the box here. So we have Gemini 200, British Airways, a picture of the aircraft, Boeing 787-10, 1 to 200 scale die-cast aircraft model, and the item number that relates to the specific release by Gemini jets. On the back of the box, the typical description that you get with Gemini jets models, and their social media links, the licensing, on the top of the box, the right hand side, the bottom, and the left. And what is typical, of course, with Gemini's 787 models is that the box has this flap. So firstly, a description regarding the 787 itself. So you can make sure I'm fully out the way here. So if you wish to pause that and read it, you can. Just obviously some facts about the aircraft, and then when you bring it up to this view, you can see the model there. But we'll open it up and take a better look. And here we have the model, the stand, and the magnetic gears. Alright guys, the model is now out of the box, and we are going to start at the cockpit windows on the port side. Right, so we have the cockpit windows, window wipers, pitot tube static ports, the British Airways titles, and then part of the registration on the gear door, BLA. Also the Oneworld logo, if you look closely, that blue circle by the first cabin door, because British Airways is a member of Oneworld, which is a group of 13 airlines. The crest there. The inboard landing lights, the realistic looking landing lights there. Then also the Rolls-Royce Trent 1000 engine. You can see the chevron teeth at the rear of the nacelle. They help mix the cooler bypass air with the internal exhaust air a lot more cleanly, efficiently, to reduce noise and improve upon the thrust from the engine. Of course, the Rolls-Royce logo. And now inside the engine, it's very detailed. The fan blades, they do spin. The stroke on the inboard side of the engine nacelle. These probably are my favorite looking fan blades on any aircraft, though I believe the 777X will look even better than these ones. The G9X engines, I believe they are G9s. The inboard engine stroke on that engine, and of course the realistic looking landing light. And let's take a brief look here at the nose gear. Now there it doesn't seem to be. No, it doesn't seem to be any well, there is areas where they would go, but there's no sort of markings or anything like that to indicate the presence of the landing taxi lights on the nose gear. And then moving along the wing to the raked swept wingtip, we have the red navigation light on the side and also the strobe light. And then back onto the fuselage. Sorry about that, there we go. We have the registration number, G-ZBLA, or Golf Zulu Bravo Lima Alpha. Also the Royal Mail logo, because British Airways officially carries Royal Mail. The bulk window and the, of course, iconic British Airways tail, and part of the registration on the tail as well, BLA. Right, so taking a look at the APU section. Good looking APU exhaust. We also have, if you can see right there, there's a little thing sticking out on the right hand side, and also one on the left hand side, painted red. They are, well, they also have painting as well on there to mark the strobe lights for the tail, or I should say for the empennage. Okay, onto the starboard side now, where we have the cockpit windows, window wipers, pitot tube static ports, British Airways titles. Don't have Oneworld logos on this side, just on the port side. Part of the registration on the gear door, front cargo container door. Realistic landing lights right there. Again, the Trent 1000 engines. Of course, the Rolls-Royce logo again. The chevron teeth that you can see there. And now to the wingtip on the starboard side, where we have the green navigation light and strobe light. Back onto the fuselage, rear cargo container door, registration number, and the tail. Of course, there is no British flag, but that tail pretty much bears the symbolism of the Union Jack, and if you haven't figured out by that, British Airways is of course the flag carrier for the United Kingdom. Alright, so taking a look underneath the aircraft now, we've got the nose gear, gear door, or gear doors I should say. Seems to be some sort of, yeah, maybe paint's come away there, sorry about that. As you can see there's red markings. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Though it's underneath the aircraft, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Air intake, snacker ducts, anti-collision beacon, main gears, gear doors, hole for the stand. Underneath the wings, just bring this to better view for you. There we go. Underneath the wings, flaps, slats, ailerons. Yeah, so there is a bit of an issue with this model, as you can see. It's something I have literally just noticed. First time pulled out the box, and quite annoying. Maybe the little piece is stuck inside the box. I had this happen to I don't know if it was in the video or not. It might have been, because any defects on models, it's just how they come. I've never broken any, but I had a Virgin Atlantic 787-9, same thing. I believe the same wingtip also. So yeah, a bit disappointing there. Had quite a few issues with wingtips, not just 787s, also 747s and A380s. Anyway, moving on, we've got the fuel dump valve right here. Hopefully it's only my aircraft, so none of you have any issues, but I do seem to get quite a bit of issues. Underneath the engines, there's quite a bit of detail there, which is always good to see. I've noticed considerable improvement in engine detailing. Same underneath this wing with the registration number and an actual good looking wingtip. Right, so moving down we have, sorry I mistook that, I thought that was an antenna. It was the light hitting differently off those grooves in the aircraft. There's an antenna. Gemini Jets logo, of course. Shouldn't have missed that. And down towards the APU housing. It does seem kind of off, that hasn't been glued on straight. I did notice it when I looked at it. When we took a look earlier, it did look slightly off center. And sometimes they are, but this one's got a noticeable gap or put on incorrectly. So a couple of, defects with this model already. There's an emergency escape hatch for the pilots, anti-collision beacon, antenna, the Wi-Fi box, and on top of the wings, no step markings, flaps, slats, ailerons and spoilers. Same on this side also. So yeah, that wingtip is a real shame. We have the outline for the SATCOM, 2 more antennas, and I also think, I won't count this as defect because this can easily be rectified. You can see that antenna is slightly on an angle, you can see just sticking up there. So that's no big deal, I'll just try and wiggle that off. If I wiggle it, it's going to come unstuck. The glue's just not going to stick. So a little bit of super glue and that will do the trick. The horizontal stabilizers. There are no markings for the logo lights, but that is okay. Right, so now going through the seating arrangement for this aircraft. So there is just one configuration, and we'll start with first class. There is 8 open suites, rows 1 to 2, and that is going to be from the first door to about here, I would say, and then from here to roughly halfway over the wing, about here. That is going to be Club World, which I believe is the equivalent of business class, though I might be wrong. 48 flatbed seats, rows 5 to 17. Then we have World Traveller Plus, 35 recliner seats, rows 20 to 24. So that is going to be from about mid-wing to the third cabin door. And then the third cabin door, obviously, to the rear of the aircraft, is entirely economy. Or I should say World Traveller, 165 seats, rows 30 to 48, for a total of 256 seats. Okay, so now on to the wheels and their features. So landing gear does roll, it does rotate, and the nose gear does swivel. All very good to see, rolls smoothly, which is always nice. And now the stand. It's a metal base. There's just a bit of this plasticky type stuff from inside the box, but don't worry about that. The metal base with the wood finish look to it. See, it screws in there, just this piece here, and has padding on top so it does not scratch the model underneath. So we're going to put this on the stand now. And sometimes it requires just a little bit of a wiggle to get it to sit on the stand. Though I'm not going to force it if it won't. There we go. This took a little bit of extra time. Sorry, that was off camera there. But the gears are also magnetic, as expected. So there we go. Now I'll put the gears in their resting position, so like preparing for landing. And there we have it. And there are also gear doors here to use if you wish to have it in the in-flight setting, and these little picks to take those out if you want to, well, obviously put the gears back into place. Alright guys, that's going to be about it for this video, this review. I do hope you have enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Comment, tell me what you think of this model, tell me if you're going to get it. I recommend this model. I really, really like it. Though those couple of issues like I had mentioned, it doesn't change too much for me, though I just hope we could have better quality control in the future and more assurances that the packaging is sufficient. Because if it did break off in the packaging, well, then that's a clear sign that it needs to be changed somehow. If it broke from the factory, well, better quality control. And also, please subscribe for more. Obviously, there's plane spotting, more model reviews, and share this video as well as other people who know about this model and see if they want to get it too. Don't let what I had put you off, because a lot of the time these are just single model errors and nothing to do with the entire line. Could be down to just handling the model altogether, but yeah, it's just a bit of a shame. Anyway, guys, I do hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.